I have been renovating my old Swedish house, but this summer I decided to focus on making a greenhouse. So these past 2 weeks I have been trying to create something affordable and easy and something that fits within the little vegetable garden that I started earlier. The cheapest option would be to get one of those plastic tunnel designs, but I'm a designer, so I want it to look good. At the same time, I'm doing this on a budget, a very strict budget, which is actually just for the house, but I want it to look like this little cute garden area. So I decided to make this greenhouse myself. Just use a 45 by 45 millimeter pressure treated wood mostly, and plastic. This is my idea for the greenhouse. Currently I have 2 vegetable beds. I'm going to build a little fence around the area so you can access from here. Tree lane sort of in the background here, which is why I'm placing the greenhouse in the back. So I've been looking at designs, and you can get this very cute basic small vegetable garden. It's this very small angled design, and you end up putting, you know, your greens in here, your salads. You can open the front by just lifting that, or have a couple of hinges there, and it's a very simple design. So I thought of doing the same thing but a larger scale. This creates a very basic lean-to design which can be extended in the back quite easily. The idea is that these are all panels that you can open up, and you can just take the plastic, which has a bit of slat at the bottom, and lift it so it rests here, and this section of plastic will just kind of stay up here, and that will give you access to the inside, and you can place your tomato plants all the way along the back. I placed the greenhouse behind the vegetable gardens because basically the vegetable gardens are in the prime location when it comes to sunlight. It has the most amount of sun throughout the entire day. The sun comes from the east, which is behind the garden bed, so behind the trees, but it has sun until like early evening, which is like the latest anywhere this plot receives any sort of sunlight, because it disappears behind these really tall trees. I am so excited about this project. I don't know why, I feel really energized about the idea of actually building something from scratch in 3D. I have a basic design of like a lean-to shape. I actually don't know how practical it is. I have this entire space to play with. It's 1.5 meters deep and 5 meters wide. What's also very exciting is that I have the help of a new piece of equipment. So crooked. I'm going to have to adjust the ends of these. They kind of don't really fit in anyways. Once you start banging them, they tend to get crooked. So now that these fence anchors are in, I think it's time to introduce my new tool. pretty. Okay, this is the Bluetti AC 200 Max, and this is a portable power station. So Bluetti reached out to me and offered to send me this device, and I couldn't say no because this is genuinely something that is so useful for me. So I'm going to use this for this little build here, but in general, the main reason why I was keen to accept something like this is to act as a backup system. So it's very suitable for people who live off-grid, who live in vans, and I do have electricity running to the house. It's like the one thing I do have, but I don't have a backup system. And this is actually kind of an issue. I know power outages are quite common here in Sweden. I have a water pump which is powered by electricity, and during winter I have a heating cable running the entire length from the house to the water pump to keep the pipes from freezing. The pipes are buried, but they are not buried deep enough to a frost-free level because there are too many rocks in the ground. Now if the power were to go out and it's freezing, which it is all the time during winter, then my water will freeze. And as you know, if you followed me for a while, you know that I don't have a car, I don't have a driving license, I have a bicycle to get into town. Once my water pipes freeze, they won't thaw, and that's the end of it. There's no water source nearby, and that means that I would have to cycle into town to get water for drinking and washing and cooking, and that's just not a possibility. It means that I would genuinely have to leave the house for the rest of winter. I did look into generators. They're powered by petrol. How do I even get huge amounts of petrol to the house on a bike? I don't know. You do get them in different sizes. You can get bigger ones and smaller ones. You can charge it by plugging it into your cigarette lighter in your car, or just in an outlet, or with solar panels. As a fun addition, I can use this just around the property. As you know, I have a little bit of grass that grew a little bit tall, and maybe I should cut it. Maybe I should get an electrical trimmer, which I can now get because I can plug it into this thing. But in the meantime, this is going to be my backup system. This particular machine has an output of 2200 watts, so I will be able to run my tools off this. Today, or this week, I thought it would be so much fun to set up a little workstation right where I'm building. I'll have to take my little blue table out of retirement to set up a little tiny workbench here. When I first bought this house, I was mainly interested in having the house as a renovation project and maybe, you know, being a little bit more self-sustainable. But as time has gone by, I always thought that actually being off-grid and being fully self-reliant was way too difficult. But now that I live here, I realize more and more that it's actually really achievable. So I've definitely been realizing how much more achievable it actually is to live off the grid and be self-sustainable. So having this device is definitely a first step. have an issue with my vegetables. They are being eaten by tiny green caterpillars. I was going to take them off, like these, but then I realised that there are so many of these tiny egg babies, maybe? This is actually looking pretty good. It's not too shabby. It has taken me ages. It took me all afternoon yesterday to just put this front bit in. I'm going to connect the front to the back and put in these middle posts. It's kind of fun now that things are coming together. This feels very solid, which is kind of surprising for being a cheap solution. Yeah, it's not bad. Oh no, that sounds like rock. This is hole number 1. Too much rock to take it out. So I went for hole number 2, which now means that these beams are not going to line up. Basic structure is in, and it's raining. It's going to rain for a few days, so we'll see if there's any time to work on this. it appears I don't have enough long pieces of wood to do the diagonal cross bracing I was going to do in the back. So I'm going to have to do it in a slightly different way. This is the rock that I hit. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Look at this little door. I ran out of wood. These are literally the offcuts. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. So I put it together with a little bit of old wood from the house. But I guess that's okay. Yeah. Last night was the most intense storm that I have ever experienced. It was kind of terrifying. There was just this thunder that was like lightning, just constant like flashing lights, and it was like there was 5 planes just flying on top of me. The wind was wow. Yeah, so outside something definitely happened. I have a giant tree in my garden. This is one of my favorite trees. Look at how gorgeous this tree is. And it just blocks. That's the outhouse and that's the shed with the shower. My house. It runs the entire length of the garden. It's just, I can't believe it. I can't believe how wind can just tear a tree apart. It's absolutely unbelievable. Look at this gorgeous tree. My goodness. It's so sad. I have no idea what to do with it. Maybe I can just build a huge mountain on top of it, turn it into a hugelculture. Another garden bed. There were a few more trees that downed. I mean, a few more trees that I can see from my house. There is this one here, right at the front of this plot, which is part of that plot. So that's sad to not have this tree here anymore, kind of marking my the start of my garden. And then there's this tree up here. I mean, can you believe it? It's like wedged around a tree on that side there. It's crazy. Look at this. So apparently there's just trees that were downed like everywhere here. And they will be cleaning up these trees today. They already cleaned up loads of trees yesterday. I got a knock on my door at 10 in the evening in the rain. So I guess that's good. I guess they have to respond really quickly just because of like people having to get to places in cars. If you own a forest plot, then I guess you have to like immediately take action, which is just crazy. But yeah, look at everything here is just flattened. The crazy thing is that this is still standing. I mean, it's unbelievable. Something I built, still here. It's mad. I guess these are quite solid. The garden is a bit flattened. This one is this courgette. I just don't know what to do with that. Goodness. And that's still there. Quite unbelievable. It is 8:30 in the morning and I'm actually travelling today. Good timing, the night after a storm. A neighbour told me he's never experienced a storm that crazy before. Look at this road. All of these downed trees. and I've already cut them through. Look at that, it just goes on and on. And inside the forest is just madness. All of these trees are just leaning. Wow. There are no trains and I need to get to the airport. I am picking up a special guest, so... But yeah, luckily my flight doesn't go until about 8:30 tonight. So I literally have all day to get to the airport. And I'm starting by walking 6 kilometers to the bus. Not carrying much, which is great. So easy traveling, got my passport. Wow, isn't this perfectly picturesque? I kind of love this downed tree. I wish I could stay here forever. I mean, look at it. Oh, and I did pick up my special guest. I was away for a couple of days, picked up something special, and I will introduce you in the next video. I actually think that this could give me the perfect opportunity to learn how to use a chainsaw. The only thing is that I would prefer to get an electrical one over a petrol one, but I don't think they're as powerful. But I'm just thinking about how I could use this tree to create beautiful things for the house. I mean, all of these branches are beautiful. I do need to create a couple of pathways to get to the shower and to get to the outhouse. So I don't really have the right tools for that, but I'm going to try and I am very happy that I did not manage to find a time to apply the plastic film before the storm. This is what I am going to use. It's actually something that my parents found in the Netherlands and they brought it to me when they came. It's built as plastic and I have 2 of these. So I've got 30 square meters, which I think is just about enough for this. And it's quite see-through, it's a little bit opaque. So I hope it looks okay. I'm going to apply it to the outside, which visually looks less nice, but wind-wise, there's less chance of it being ripped apart. Obviously you can apply it to the inside and then put like a little piece of wood against it so it's sandwiched, but I don't have any wood anymore. This is what I have. This is what we're going to do. I'm excited. I need to figure out which piece I should use for which sides. I think this might be a really good design if you have no wind. Okay, the sun is really hot. Let's go inside the greenhouse where it should be hotter. But guess what? It's really nice and cool in here. I spent 2 weeks working on the greenhouse and I failed. I mean, it's a really good space. Imagine placing all of your tall tomato plants back here. You can access the entire length of this greenhouse by opening up each section. So what it needs right now is plastic that's actually intended for this purpose. It's actually a really nice space in here. I just have to make sure that I can lock these window slats at the bottom, so that these plastic fronts don't get blown away in the wind. And in another year I might add a door in the front here and extend the back, and also add a door in the back so I could wheelbarrow things to the compost pile, which will be probably situated to the back of this greenhouse. There's so much space here and it's extremely solid. I mean, this building survived that insane storm, so there's definitely some good points, except that the plastic isn't the correct type of plastic and it cools instead of warms, and obviously it flaps about in the wind a lot. Other than that, I am actually quite happy with it. I mean, it's nice though, isn't it? In theory.